Hello and welcome to this video. This video about Moon and Venus in Pisces. What is it all about? The intention is very simple, to understand ourselves a little bit more if we have a Moon or if we have Venus in Pisces, or if we're living together with someone who's got these planets in Pisces, to understand them a bit better, to know why they react the way they react. And of course, the distinction between Venus and Moon is very simple. Venus is about what we like in life, what we will attract in life. Not only the people that we're gonna like, but also the kind of furniture, the kind of paintings, the kind of music that we like, the kind of clothing that we like. And it's also what we value in life. What do we value in life? What is important for us? What is not that important for us? Now the Moon is about our emotions, and it's about our inner world. It's about the reaction, or the kind of reaction that we're going to give. Is it going to be a fast reaction? Is it going to be spontaneous? Or is it going to be restricted? Is it going to be fixed? And so on. That's about our Moon. But let's get started with Venus in Pisces. What is that all about when you've got Venus in Pisces? Well, Venus in Pisces is said to be in its exaltation, because Venus in Pisces is it's the planet of love in the boundaryless, without any boundaries. The sign of Pisces is about the unconditional love, I suppose. So that's a very beautiful thing. And Pisces is very much about it. That's the Jupiter side of Pisces. It's very much about connecting very broadly. So not like Venus in Scorpio, who goes very deep with one person, but Pisces has the ability to connect with all, and that's so beautiful. And that's also why they say it's a mystical position of Venus in of that Venus in that sign. Because no matter what happens to, or no matter what that particular person that they love, no matter what they do, they always have this love for that person. So it's without any conditions, and that's that's why it is exalted, and it has high ideals. So Venus in Pisces has very high ideals when it comes to love. They really put it on a pedestal. That's all about exaltation. And of course there is this challenge that, when things fall down, because you put them too much on a pedestal. But that's the flip side. So the flip side is, yes, there can be this love for the underdog. There can be this attraction towards people to save them. So, or they're going to want to be the savior in a relationship, or the other way around, to be saved. And they can shift roles very easily. And for Pisces, that's tempting. It's very tempting for Venus in Pisces to lose oneself, because it's so it's all about having no boundaries when it comes to love and losing oneself. I've got a sister who's got Venus in Pisces, and it's really funny, because it is I think one of the most romantic positions to have. When they are in love, they are really, really in love, and they are sometimes completely lost into that person, and then they lose their own identity. And then, of course, that's the challenge for that position of Venus in Pisces, to not let oneself lose oneself, not to sacrifice, because there is this that is very important for them. But yes, they do idealize. And I remember as a kid, my sister really, she's 13 years older than I am. So when I was very little, 7-year-old or something, I was really reading her love letters that and they were those, because she was in love with someone from very, 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 very abroad, and it was in broken English, and I understood it. I was reading it as a kid, but it was, even when it was broken English, it was so poetic and it was so romantic. That's the idea of Venus in Pisces. And so the nostalgia, and yes, that's very important for someone with Venus in Pisces, but it's also not the position of this planet Venus. It's also not always showing its feelings, and it can be actually very mysterious about what they love or who they love, and they're not, and that's why they say, you know, sometimes when it comes to the sign of Pisces, that, you know, honesty, it's not always the easiest thing for them. That's because sometimes I really think, you know, they don't understand. Come on, I would understand if someone acts like me, but they don't understand, so I have to say a lie, because otherwise they don't understand, they don't see it. So that's a bit the flip side of this beautiful Venus exalted in Pisces. But what else? Well, I think it's an artistic position to have Venus in Pisces. So mostly there's a lot for music or for the artistic side of life. And yes, no matter what happens, they always love you. They are very compassionate and they are very understanding. I think it's the sign that understands everybody, because they understand their difficulties of themselves. And especially also with the moon in Pisces. So for someone who's got a moon in Pisces, yes, this is a more sensitive position of the moon. And I don't think it's a bad position, because there is this possibility to flow of the emotions. They can do that. They can express their emotions. They can let it flow. And yes, they are sensitive, but that doesn't mean to say they cry all of the time. Just sensitive means that they are very sensitive towards other people's emotions, and sometimes they don't really know, is it my emotions or is it the emotions I'm sensing of that other person? That's why they say that this sign is very, how do you call that, médiumnique, or it's very psychic position to have moon in Pisces. Because they have this connection, they have this connection with the all. So it's very difficult to distinguish themselves, because they are so connected. And so a very important thing for people who have got moon in Pisces is to surround themselves by positive people. Now you could say that's important for everyone, but especially for Pisceans, because they have to, you know, they have challenges with boundaries. So it's just to prevent themselves to go into the drama of someone else, just to you know, they don't have this Aries thing, like, hey, that's me and that's you. The separation, they don't feel that. And they are very compassionate, yes. So they really, and sometimes to their detriment, because when they can hold on to situations just because out of compassion. And of course, even I think that's more for Venus in Pisces, and of course that's not the healthiest situation to, let's say in a relationship you stay with someone because you've got compassion. That's not, of course, not a healthy thing to do, but it's hard for them. Even when it comes to people that no one understands, they will. They have this, you know, they have swim through many more waters. That's the sign of Pisces. They've swum through so many waters, but they always, you know, they go to the right, they go to the left. They always find their way, especially moon and Pisces. They always find their way. So, understanding everyone. Yes, visions, of course, they do. It's the last sign of the zodiac. So it's It has its connection with the 12th house, the house of dreams, the house of visions. They can visualize, and they know things that are going to happen way ahead sometimes. And of course, they are very much connected with all. So yes, Pisces is a very special and a bit mysterious position to have these female planets in Moon and Venus. So it's a sign that senses a lot, and and I think that is very beautiful. But on the other hand, I also do understand that for some people who have these positions, it's not always the easiest position to have, planets in Pisces. But I hope this has given you a bit of understanding of these planets in Pisces. And if you're living together with someone with a moon and a Venus in Pisces, and it's not always easy to pinpoint them, well, that's just the way they are. Actually, when you're not trying to pinpoint them, then they come to you. Maybe that's a good advice, I don't know. But that always worked with my sister, who's got a whole stellium in Pisces. But nevertheless, wish you all the luck with that moon and that Venus in Pisces, and see you soon. Bye bye.